Hello, Gravitrons. I'm more gravity. Let's play chess. Okay, so this game comes as the fifth game against this opponent, and he, she, or they won the first four. And I was impressed by their play, the accuracy of their play, the ideas and accuracy of their play. And in this game, um, I finally managed to win. We'll see exactly why I want to say so, but I'm going to hold my tongue for now, and we'll go over this game pretty much move by move. It's not all that long, 14 moves, so let's get going. Opening with the D pawn today and yesterday, and he and I have played this position to here a couple times. He, she, or they, and I. He, as I said, I'm going to start using he. He and I have played the position to here with white to move. I think twice before this, and both times I had played pawn to f4, supporting e5 with the idea that queen to h4 isn't all that great for black after white plays g3. But I believe pawn f4 is a good and playable move. It just I want something different on this, the third game after reaching this position after two moves. I played knight to f3, simply defending, but also denying any real chance for the f pawn to be defending the e pawn, which is sometimes strong here in the center. That minor pieces will be deterred from capturing on e5 for fear of losing a piece to just a pawn or two. A piece to just a pawn or two. So it's not quite as safe for the e5 pawn, but I think it's safer for my king rather than opening up all these pawns on this dark square pawn chain on the king side. Queen e7 and bishop g5 is strong here, forcing a response. And like is often the case, if your opponent develops his, her, or they queen early, like my opponent here, he has developed to e7 rather early. It is often your goal to develop with an attack against that queen. Develop with an attack. You'll save a tempo that way. It very directly, white will have an extra tempo. Often, it doesn't always shake out that way. It doesn't always work out that way. If the queen has some dynamic response, then yeah. So be careful. But very often, you'll develop with tempo that way, with an attack. Develop with an attack. I see the queen move to b4, queen b4 check, and knight to d2 is some kind of mistake. I'm sure bishop back to d2, attacking the queen again, might be best for white. I don't really think queen to d2 makes a whole lot of sense. Maybe. Let's, when it gets this tactical, I like to consult our analysis tool, powered by Torch 4. Let's see what Torch 4 suggests for white in this position. Knight c3. What did I play? I played knight bd2. So knight c3 and then bishop d2 are both doing well for white. Knight bd2 doesn't throw the lead away, but it's a pretty bad blunder, or I think it's been coded as a mistake. We'll say it's a mistake. Okay. Well, knight bd2, the idea here was to develop a piece. It's got a lot of coverage. It's actually, I think, protected by 4 white chess pieces. We are aware that the pawn on b2 is a goner. Excuse the term, but the pawn on b2 is going to be lost. And white just wants to limit losses to that, right? And then we have ideas of rook to b2, and that pushes the queen to capture on a2, so maybe not But yeah, no, that was knight to d2. That was the thinking behind that. Queen takes b2. Now this is a moment where white can. There's a number of good moves here for white. There's a number of reasonably strong moves. I think queen to b1 is one, just suggesting a queen trade. Rook to b1 is good, but then what do we do if we're now down a pawn instead of ahead a pawn? I went for a little bit offbeat play here. Yeah, I was looking at the possibility of a queen trap as early as right now because I thought that I might have sort of been discouraged of it from the placement of this knight, but I played pawn to e4, and the move has a number of ideas. For instance, bishop d3 is strong, just securing a pawn chain in the center. There's ways that white can attack after bishop c4. Anyway, my opponent made this move, knight to b4. I mean, if we look at this position, we see that black doesn't have all that many escape options for the queen. In hypothetical world, she can't go past her piece on b4, so that cuts off a lot of her escape. Pawns protecting b3. There's just all kinds of protection. We're here in white's zone, so we take it from the queen's standpoint one by one, and we have a safe square on c3. I think that's it. No, a safe square on c3 and a safe square on a3, and that's it. Those are the only safe places. Noting too, though, that I guess c2 is kind of safe. Queen captures, knight takes c2 check, king moves, and then black will even go ahead a rook on a1 if you can hold on to it, or if the knight can't escape, then a rook, but only a rook, and the exchange and only the exchange, not a full rook. Anyway, bishop to d3, knight a2, bishop can't move lateral, or the queen can't move laterally. We've got squares covered like all over the place here. These squares are mostly covered, and the b4 square is free, and it looks like the b5 square is free, but take a moment, think. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3. Knight to d6 check after black captures in some manner will net white a queen on b5 with discovered attack from the bishop on d3. So that's not free. The only free squares then b4. If I should muster attack against white's queen, this was here. I got ahead of myself. I'm sorry. It's been a long day. Queen c3, bishop d2. Now the queen is trapped. The best try as played on the board. Bishop b4. Some sort of regaining of a lot of the material, but not all. You get the 9 points, 3 points, king moves, 5 points, that's 8, but then I get another 3 back with queen takes a1 and a tempo against the knight, which proves important because of e6 following. Knight to b4, we play e6, and pawn takes e6 is not, or d takes e6 is not accurate to the tune of black's h8 rook and the g7 pawn. This is a game, this happens, right? This is a game, a great game, fun game, interesting ideas, still mostly about tactics. this was a game. This game was mostly about tactics. My opponent had already proved himself, having beaten me 4 times in a row, and so I was really glad to score a win. And the win I scored was mostly about tactics, and I'm okay with that. So I think all is good. My opponent played well, I played well. No reason to hang our heads, and fun was had. I think that's it. I think that's it for this streaming session. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Gravitrons. I'm More Gravity. Have a great night.